Sometimes there are things in this world where it's just not worth it to argue with somebody and you can just say, you know what, I'm never going to change your mind. And one of those things is Patrick Bailey good for your baseball team? Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And today we're talking about the Patrick Bailey trade. He just got traded the other day from the Giants to the Guardians in kind of a surprising move. It's not that often that you see an everyday player get traded at this point in the season, and especially for basically nothing really valuable right now. The Guardians gave up the 29th overall pick and Matt Wilkinson, who's a pitcher. Love him. Tugboat, pitched on Team Canada in the World Baseball Classic, but he's in AA right now. It's 2 lottery picks, essentially. So first, that's what I want to talk about. What did the Guardians give up? The 29th overall pick. The MLB draft is a complete crapshoot. You could be getting an absolute superstar in a totally late round that nobody expects. Albert Pujols is the perfect example. Or you could be getting somebody who's not good. With like the 2nd overall pick, Dylan Cruz is the prime example. He's really struggled at the beginning of his MLB career. Obviously, I hope that he picks it up. But basically, my point is nothing is a surefire pick except for maybe Paul Skeens, Ken Griffey Jr., and Alex Rodriguez. But it is few and far between, and especially once you get past those early single digits of the first round, the 29th overall pick, it could very well turn out to be a career minor leaguer, and that's it. Matt Wilkinson, on the other hand, has been in the minor leagues for a while, and he's been pitching very well. Right now, he's with AA, and he's been pitching like phenomenal in the beginning of this season, but those things all can change one way or the other. Sometimes an organization just really clicks with a guy, and their pitching gurus can go up there and they can find, hey, you know what, your fastball's really got a lot of life to it. Let's pitch that more, or whatever it may be, and then sometimes it goes the complete opposite way. So you're basically giving up 2 lottery picks, one that has a little bit of a better odds right now, in exchange for an everyday catcher. The most controversial baseball player, in my opinion, in baseball right now, despite not really having any off-the-field issues. And that is because there are 2 different camps when it comes to Patrick Bailey. The one camp is his defense is so good it does not matter what he does with the bat. And the other one is his bat is so bad it doesn't matter what he does with the glove. I tend to fall a little bit more in this category of his batting is so atrocious right now that despite his defense basically being the best defender in baseball, probably in the 21st century, one of the best ever, the bat is just so atrocious, specifically right now. In this season, he has a 6 OPS plus on his career. He has a 74 OPS plus. Yeah, if he had a 74 OPS plus, this season, I would maybe feel a little bit differently. But 16, and it's not like we're a couple weeks into the season. We are like a month and a half in. We're like a quarter way through the season. You gotta figure something out. 16 is absurd. It's basically still having your pitcher hit. So that is my issue right now. However, the defense is like immaculate. Since 2023, he's first among catchers in framing runs and caught stealings above average, and he is first among all players in fielding run value. So he is that guy defensively. He's won 2 Gold Gloves. He deserves all the accolades for his defense. But my concern specifically with this team is you already have Austin Hedges, which is basically an older version of Patrick Bailey. Austin Hedges got his job, got his career by being a good defensive catcher, framing the ball really well, and being bad with the bat, right? So Patrick Bailey is like kind of a refined Austin Hedges, almost to an extreme. So my thing is, if you were to put Patrick Bailey on a team that has a really good offensive catcher, but, is really lacking when it comes to actually working with the pitching staff, I think that could have been incredibly helpful. But my thing is, you're basically getting the same thing, just 2 different versions, one of them who's older and one of them who is younger, who's also under much more team control, which I do think is good for the Guardians. Maybe the Guardians saw something where they think, hey, we see like a hitch in your swing. If we can fix that, we can get you into like at least like an 80 OPS plus bat. If he does that, I think this trade will well have been worth it for the Guardians. I do think that it is pretty low risk and also could be very high reward. So I do like that for the team. They are sending Bo Naylor down, which is good because he's been very bad with the bat and he is not Patrick Bailey defensively. So it makes sense. You're making room on the roster. On the Giants side of things, it is also confusing. I'm sure that they're looking at this season right now and they are thinking, We need something to change. And the number one thing that they probably saw is, holy smokes, our offense is terrible. Who's the worst offensive player? It is Patrick Bailey. The thing is, you don't really have any catchers. You're relying right now on Daniel Susac, who's currently injured and also a rookie. And then also you have Jesus Rodriguez, who is a rookie. He has like 4 games played. He's your number 18 prospect. And Eric Haas, who's a career backup catcher. I love Eric Haas. Trust me, I love Eric Haas. I'm a big a Brewers fan as anyone in the world. I love me some Eric Haas. As an everyday catcher, I do not love me some Eric Haas. So there are legit concerns with this Giants team. Tony Vitello, it's his first season. He's doing what he does, right? I'm sure there are a lot of concerns that thinks that he can't manage an MLB team. I like to think that he still can, because obviously I got to rep my Tennessee Volunteers, right? But to make this big of a change this early in the season signals to me that management is not happy. Like big management, the GMs, Posey's running a lot of the show, Maybe Posey, as a guy who is such a good offensive catcher, sees Patrick Bailey and is like, we need somebody who can have a little bit more pop. And then when it comes to like postseason and projecting further down the line, the Giants need to figure something out. They stay in this middling range where they've kind of stayed since they had that random season a couple years back, right? Where it looks like they're going to be like a 500 team, maybe this year slightly below. They're not going to be competing for the West. They're hoping to compete for a wild card spot. This move just doesn't seem like a win now move, but their roster, their team has too much talent to not be trying to win right now. Luis Arraez has turned into one of the best defensive players in baseball, and he's still hitting. You have Willy Adames, you have Matt Chapman, you have Rafi Devers, who's been terrible, right? You have Logan Webb, you have Robbie Ray, you have Jung-Hoo Lee. It's like you have all of these players who have the potential to be a really great team, but something is just not clicking. So something needed to change, I guess. Like I said, it feels like an odd time to change it, especially when this guy was really beloved among Giants fans. They really liked this guy. They thought that he was really clutch. I looked at the clutch stats, and it's like he turns into a league average bat, which I guess is a significant improvement. And then when it comes to the Guardians, they are in a weird, unique position where the AL Central is kind of open for the taking right now. Everyone thought that the Tigers were going to run away with it, but they aren't, and now Tarik Skubal's injured, so the door is open, and it's like you're competing with the Royals and the White Sox, and also the Tigers are still in the mix. So you went out and you traded for a guy who you basically already have on the team. Austin Hedges is actually having a decent season right now hitting, but I doubt that that'll last, because that's just kind of absurd that he would have a 120 OPS plus. I hope that the Guardians can figure it out, because honestly, I really like the Guardians. But it's like they needed some offense, and now you're bringing in a guy that's basically a black hole into the lineup. Like I said, it's basically having your pitcher hit, but instead it's an actual position player, and that's a huge detriment, especially with the universal DH now. It's like you need every single bat to be contributing, and I just have doubts that they can win the Central with this roster. But if I've learned one thing about the Central, it's never doubt the Brewers and you never doubt the Guardians. But as a whole, I think this is a really interesting move. Patrick Bailey is such a fascinating player. You see a lot of red on his baseball savant, and you see a lot of blue for the two separate things. He is on complete polar ends of the spectrum in terms of being a fantastic baseball player or an absolutely terrible baseball player. I genuinely hope that he can figure out a way to hit better, especially this season, because like I said, if he can be a league average bat, he can be one of the most valuable players in the entire league. And you know what? If he helps out the pitching staff as well, sometimes that's all that you need. So I think the Guardians view this as kind of a win now move, and also protecting for the future, because he does have some team control. If they can figure out a way to change up his swing or whatever it may be in the next couple of years, I think that would be huge. For the Giants, it's just odd. It's just odd. It doesn't seem like there's a backup plan right now. Are your backup plans some rookies? I don't love that for them. Maybe they think that Daniel Susac, with this start that he'll have, that he'll be able to keep up that sustained production, which I think is unlikely. That's a difficult thing to do. It's just going to be interesting. There are a lot of different moves happening by a lot of different teams that start with a G. So we will see what happens. But that is what I got for you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace.